that a computer, a robot, an algorithm will ever completely replace the connection that we have as human beings. That love, that camaraderie, that community, our human spirit will always desire that. Now, when we're bored and lonely, the computer is nice, we pick up our phone, and we scroll and scroll, but we would rather be with people, gathering and feeling and loving, but when we can't, the next best thing is artificial.
So when you talk about those kind of changes that have got us from there to here, what have been the biggest changes you've seen? Because your eyes have seen some things before people here were even born. What would you say is the biggest change you've seen in terms of how we consume music or how we share music?
Downloading was the doozy. That was the big shift. When you went from physical, that was the initial physical to digital, even before iTunes. When, Napster and all that, people were losing their shit.
Yo, shout out anyone who mashed up their mom's computer with LimeWire.
Yo, LimeWire, Chromester.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Hella viruses, because you needed that B2K, innit?
But I think that was the most dramatic shift, right? From, and obviously it was because the labels and the people making the art was now losing money. They didn't even know how nothing was set up. So that was the most dramatic, I believe.
There was a time when radio was at the center of the music conversation. Like, it was the conversation. Like, in the States, you had Self, Flex, Angie Martinez. Over here, we had like Daddy Ernie, Kenny Francis. Like, these are the people that we kind of looked to as vessels for music. As time has changed, though, there are so many different voices now. You've got podcasters, bloggers, streamers, content creators, all having a voice in the music conversation. So for radio hosts like you and I, it could be quite easy right now to have an identity crisis and think, where do I fit into the conversation where it's no longer about on-air charts and what's getting played most on the radio, and it's not so much about the radio DJ. How do you reconcile that? Like, what do we need to do to not have a breakdown as technology continues to move forward? How do you kind of measure success?
For better or for worse, I'm arrogant when it comes to this music shit. So they not better than me, bro. When it comes to picking these records, they just not better than me. Let's be 100. They not. A lot of people is out here having conversations. You talking, you yapping. But when it comes time to play the records and pick the records and get out in culture and find music, they not better than me. That's what's going on in my brain.
Of course.
I don't really say that out loud too often, but that's just so y'all know what's going on in my head. That's what I've been saying. But that's probably how I don't really stress it, because when I wake up in the morning, I'm looking around at everybody running their mouth and talking, but they're not pressing play on the songs. And then we go, well, nobody's listening to the music. Well, because everybody listening to you talk. Play the song. Play the song. But many people are on podcasts, and this is no shade, you can't play the song. So that's where we come in, because we get to play the song. So if you want to hear music, you come to play people who can play the song. If you just want to hear people talking, you can go hear people talking. Or if you want to control the music yourself, you can go into your streaming service, hopefully it's Apple Music, and you can control it yourself. So the consumer has tons of options, right? You can listen to somebody curate something and give you context. You can listen to somebody debate and have convo, or you can control it yourself. So I think you just have to accept your role in the ecosystem. And I think because I've been doing it for 30 plus years, I'm a little bit crazy and arrogant like that, and I wake up every morning and be like, yo, I ain't better than me, and I bug out. And then, but I'm also like accepting the reality, like it is what it is. It's really up to y'all, right? And I've also learned that a long time, right? And I'm sure you've accepted that too. We play music on the radio most of the time, especially if you're on mainstream radio, liking all that stuff, bro. Like, we be playing songs, we be like, this is doo-doo. Like, I don't like it. But y'all like it or are having fun with it for the moment. Our job is to play it for you, right? And make sure that plays. That don't mean we like it though. So I've already accepted in my role as a media person, I'm not gonna like everything. Everybody ain't gonna like me. They're not gonna like what I have to say. So they might turn me off today, but I'll be here tomorrow and the next day.
So
and the next day.
With that in mind, what does success to you look like? What is success
today?
Yeah.
Success today is this. The fact that people still invite my old ass up here to talk about stuff, we living life, baby. God bless. You know what I'm saying? We living life, we win, we happy, we're healthy. What more can I ask for?
Because in the tech world, and we have it as well, because of course our home is radio, our foundation is radio, but we work in tech. We work on a streaming platform. And that is often driven by stats and subscribers and numbers. How do you figure that out where music meets metrics? Do you just put the metrics to the back of your mind?
Yeah, I don't think that about that. I can only show up and be the best version of myself. You know, when you start on FM radio and you grow up in this business, at least when I came up, you accept the reality that you could be gone today. You don't own the microphones, you don't own the radio station, you don't own the broadcasting license. And I've been through seeing people show up to work and they've been replaced because the program director didn't want them no more, or they switched formats. You know what I'm saying? One day they playing this, the next day the radio station playing that. So I've already kind of accepted that that's a reality. So if you're gonna be afraid of that, it's the wrong business for you, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I would also add into that, like, I can only look at the music that people are consuming and the conversations that people are having and figure out a way to have my input and my conversation around that in whatever, you know, I feel, and be, like I said, the most authentic version of myself, and that's all I can do.
I think I had a similar realization that it's not, for me, it's not about the metrics, it's about the moments, right? And I realized that I was actually in New York, and you know how you guys are like, this guy was like, yo, Dotty, boom, boom, boom. You know how you guys do that thing? Like, you've got to put the sound effects on, oh, da, boom, boom, boom. It was like, through you, I discovered Clio Soul, through Apple Music, through the Dotty show. And that was my first dance with my wife when I got married. And I was like, that's why we're doing this. Like, you were able to be that point of discovery for someone, even if it's just one person, and then you kind of create that moment.
That's all we're doing, man. We take it day by day. If I could, you know, if I got you for 3 minutes between whatever you're doing, and I make you smile, or I make you mad, or I play a song and you're like, wow, that's dope. Hopefully you come back tomorrow, that's the game. You know, fortunately, most of these corporations, you know, they don't make, if you're working for a healthy one, they don't make, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? They don't make like quick decisions, haphazard decisions. So I got at least a year to 18 months to have some great moments before they tell me I suck and they kick me out. So that's how I look at it. I'll be like, all right, here we go. I got at least 12 months. They're gonna keep me around. And I've just been doing that the whole time and figuring out how the people I'm working with look at success, right? Because we're working for companies that are conducting business. And so I always go in, yeah, I'm trying to make the consumer feel something. Yes, I'm trying to help artists and support artists and creativity, but I'm also trying to understand how the companies that own the platforms that we're partnering with look at success. And so I'm trying to balance all of that.
Yeah. Well, they say, you know, you either evolve or you become extinct, right? So can you give us some insights quickly into the ways that Apple Music is ensuring that the essence of radio continues not just to survive but to thrive? What are we doing?
Well, most recently we've opened up content facilities. Well, we opened up a content facility in Los Angeles. We're going to be bringing one to London as well. We brought one to Japan. Studio is coming to some other cities as well. And so these are, if you pay attention what Apple Music is doing, you know, from doing album listening, events for artists, live performances for artists, bringing artists in the radio studios and creating moments. Once again, moments to give context to the music, but to also give an opportunity for the consumer inside Apple Music to see some content, a live convo, a live performance, an event, but hopefully they get back to listen to the music while they're in the service. So we're putting music at the forefront, right? Like, I don't think all streaming services have that as their priority and their mandate, but for us, that's our mandate, is to figure out how to get our subscribers to listen to the music and to engage with us around the music.
And to bring the audience closer to the artist as well. I think we do that in a way that no one else does through Apple Music Live, where you kind of get an opportunity to be close to the artist. We've been having our listening parties.
Album listening live, one night only, like you said, Apple Music Live. And then even we're having, you know, artists performing in the studio. I had Skip Marley in the studio. I had El Mean performing live in the studio with a guitar. And, you know, some artists, just so people can actually, you know, once again, we live in a time where people have a lot of tools to create facades around what they sound like and what they look like. And I do believe there are remarkable human beings out here with a remarkable level of talent. And so to create a space where we can strip away all of the tools and just hear how great El Mean's voice is, right? And how great the songwriting is. I think that that's valuable for those of us who love that.
They're kicking us out of here.
Are we done?
We're done. But listen,
thanks for coming.
And you can pick any streaming service, you can. But if you want that good audio quality,
woo, talk that talk.
If you want that human curation,
talk that talk.
Come to Apple Music.
Thank you for having us.
Listen, didn't Apple and BTD do their big one with that one? Woo, exactly. Okay, right, listen. That conversation was phenomenal, and I know many people are seeing that there's a big shift in the world. Our next guest, which will be on stage in 10 minutes, will show us exactly how we are seeing a bit of a full circle, right? We've been seeing the